I want to welcome Bill to the shop with his beautiful Corvette. This thing is 454, 4-speed. The story behind this car is it was kind of a barn find type thing, and they just went and painted it, put a top on it, put new interior in it, and some wheels on it, and it's just outstanding. I've worked on a lot of Corvettes over the years, and this one, I'm not sure what the mileage is showing, maybe somewhere around 70 or something, and I feel good that that might be the original miles on it because it is in such good shape. When you get up looking around at all the stuff, it's just kind of unmolested, and from where it's set all the time, the front end needs some work, so I'm going to go under here and totally rebuild the upper and lower control arms and put new shocks on it and splash shields and all that. But I want to give you a little closer look at this car because it's just magnificent. The paint job is outstanding. Yeah, this thing has really got a nice paint job and got ghost flames in the kind of see them right down through there, all the way down those flames, and they just really pop when the sun comes out. But the color combination is just vibrant when it's coming down the road, or just yeah, it's just amazing. Love the paint job. Love the round tail lights, and then inside, get a look inside here. You can see how nice it is in here with a 4-speed. What a wonderful car with the top down and the spring day and that stick shift. It's nothing like driving a stick shift. Let me go get that safety, make sure that latches. Alright, and then there she is, 454, and it is shoehorned in there and tight. But you can see around, just all this around in here is just so nice and clean, and all that, all back in here. I mean, usually this stuff's pretty bad shape. So this is a very nice car. What an awesome, fun car. So let's get in here and fix this front end. All right, Bill, I did a little walk around your car, and there's a few little things that I'll make a little punch-out list and see if you want to address, or maybe address something later. Just go ahead and do a PMI, which is a pre-maintenance inspection on everything. And one of the first things I noticed just when I saw the car first is you see the rust on these rotors right here. So when I take all this down, I'm going to take a minute and prep, prime, and paint that black. And you won't believe the difference it's going to make, how that's going to make this wheel look so much better, just making that rusty part go away. There's two different ways you can go about this. You can either have that upgraded to stainless and a red caliper where you see that behind here, and that's one look and it looks good, or you can just black it out and make it go away, and it makes it focus on the wheel so much better. But right now, with seeing that rust, it'll be a big difference when I paint that black and make it just go away, and all you're going to see is that wheel. And I'll probably do the same on the back, just yank those off and paint those. It won't take but a minute. And but anyway, I just wanted to show you the before, how that looks, and then after, when I get that, just that simple little black right there done, how good that wheel's going to look. Looks now. And then once I get that blacked out, get my light where you can see it. There you go. That's going to look so good. And I'll probably clean that out too and paint that black right there where that white is, and just get those couple of things gone, and this whole little wheelhouse will look so much better. This is what you got for all your parts, and give you an idea of what I'm fixing to do here. So we're going to do upper and lower control arm bushings, and I know some of the lower ones are completely gone. You can see where all the bushing is gone out of it, so that's really going to help on that control arm's got to be moving every time you hit the brakes and every time you turn and all that. Idler arm, these are normally always wore out. They catch a lot of abuse, and it'll move up and down, and so when you're turning, and this is on the other frame rail, it constantly goes up and down, which causes slack in it. The lower ball joints, all the tie rod links and ends, upper ball joints, upper control arm bushings. These top bump stops for the upper control arm, these are usually always wore out and gone. So if you go over a bump or a parking lot over a speed bump or whatever, that top control arm comes down and hits the frame, and it makes a terrible noise. So these are really, really crucial to put in there. And then you have the other bump stops. We're going to put in new splashes. These sway bar links, the ones that come with this kit are pretty rigid, which will help it in help the sway bar in the flex and movement of the body. So these are going to make it feel a lot better when you drive the car. Yep, and I think that's about it. So all these parts that's on your car now, I'm going to take them off. Say lower control arms I'll take off, upper control arms I'll take off. I'll pull all the bushings out of them, and then I'll wash, prep, prime, and paint every piece, and put all the new bushings in, and then put it all back in place. For Matt, I've got every single thing out of here, and I'll probably wipe this down a little bit and clean it up and shoot some paint on some of this stuff. This is that steering actuator we may end up needing. I'm not sure yet. We'll just have to get all this other in, because I found lots of loose stuff, broken stuff. The shocks where they went up in there, they didn't even have bushings on this side. It was metal to metal on both sides, and a bad bushing, and just miscellaneous different little areas. And then all your parts, I have got them, all the joints out of them, bushings pressed out of them. Getting the bushings out of these lower ones, especially this one here, it was so rusted in there. It was extremely difficult to get those out. I tightened up one of the wheel bearings, was a little loose, and washed all that. I think it was this one that was loose. And that'll fix that. Then I'm going to blast these pieces, blast everything here, and then prep, prime, and paint. But it all come out pretty good. These were riveted in, pretty difficult to get out. And I've sanded that area flat, and I'll come back and 80 grit that. Your parts in the booth here, and I just want to show you what all I've done. So far, I've blasted everything but these two pieces, because I didn't want to get that sand media near the bearings, bushings and bearings. So I just pre-cleaned that with a scrub brush and clean, and got that good enough. So also, I honed out all the bushing holes where the bushing's going in, and deburred all your bars. They had some wear here and there, and cleaned those up, and went ahead and prepped the rotors, because I'm going to paint those black as well, so that'll look a lot better. Just prepped it here and here. Those are pre-cleaned and scuffed, and the rest of it is sanded. Did a little extra work on these to make those tops look nice when that's painted up, but I tried not to spend a lot of time on it, but I tried to do a solid time on it. So I'm fixing to paint it all black. It's got that spray in the edge primer. I just want to show you how it all looks in the edge primer, and got a real good coat on every bit of it. I did an extra coat on the top of the control arms, and it all looks really slick, and that edge primer really bite into that bare metal. And come a long way since start sandblasting early this morning. They have been prepped and etch primed in 3 coats of the black single stage. It turned out pretty good. Springs, they were difficult. It just takes so much spraying, and they were so rusty. But boy, they look good now. The control arm, all those rods, and I prepped all the ends where they had a little wear on them, and that one had a little wear right there, and I sanded and ground and fixed all that. And that one did a little extra paint work on top of this one. It's still a little shiny, but you'll see that one. All these have been already sanded out, and now they got a little bit of paint in there, but sanded all those with a wheel. A lot better. Put all my new bearings and ball joints in this stuff, and it is going to be nice. Had a good day on it. Here it all is. That stuff was rusty and rough. Look how good it looks now. Alright, Bill, I want to show you what I got going here. So now that I've got all your parts over here painted and ready to go in, and I've had them out in the sun letting that cure out real good, now it's time to clean all this up. And all I've done so far is I've scraped everything I could scrape, then I've wire brushed everything I could and blew it off, and then I'm going to come back and lightly scuff it and then do a pre-cleaning and then just try to prime and paint what I can underneath here, at least the areas that's under all these control arms, and clean that up. But while I was doing all this, we had a problem with the way it was steering, and I know these actuators on these cylinders sometimes act up and it causes that. But I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and pull your gearbox off while I'm at this point, because it'd be difficult to get to. It was difficult to begin with, but it's easier with it up here and all this out of the way. Pulled the gearbox apart, and I've never seen a gearbox like this. I mean, usually they got some grease in there, and it just stays in there forever. There's no way to add grease or anything to this. And yours is so dry. You can see inside there, it's rusty. The inside of the casing is rusty. The gears, there is not any lubricant in any way inside this gearbox. I've never seen that. And it doesn't take much for it to work. These gearboxes on these Vettes usually last a long time because all the force is where the cylinder pushes off the frame. And that's what turns it. So it's very little wear on these usually. But for whatever reason, this one must have never gotten greased, or I don't know where it went, but it's dry as a chip inside there. So got a new one coming, and then I'm going to work my way through this and just try to blow through this as quick as possible and get some black back underneath here and get this cleaned up, and then I can start building the front end back. Fix to put it on the ground here. I still got to paint the rear calipers, but now you can see how good that looks, all that blacked out and that rotor blacked out in the middle. Just do my alignment. Alright, Bill, I did my last test drive. I've done 3 test drives on this thing and rechecking all my alignment specs each time because all this is going to settle. And it did move a little bit on that first run. I had to reset my caster and camera just a little bit and set my toe again. Then then I ran it again, and my steering wheel was just a little bit off, so I turned it and I got this set good this time. So front end seems good. All that front end is totally rebuilt. New gearbox, new cylinder and actuator, and then all the bushings and stuff. And really drives good. While I was driving, I noticed the brakes felt the first pump kind of went a little further than second pump. So I checked all your calipers, and every one of them had a lot of air in them. And I just gravity bled all those, and that might be something you want to check again later while it's up on your rack or something. You can just open that bleeder and see if fluid comes out. Quite a bit of air came out when I did it the first time. But and then I've retorqued your wheels, make sure they were tight. I went up under it and checked all the nuts, bolts, all the grease zerks. I put 10 pumps of the premium red Lucas grease in every spot in it, and I repainted your rotors on the rear along with the rotors in the wheel houses in the front, and I think that's about it. I think she's ready to go home, so I appreciate you letting me work on it. Magnificent car, fun to drive. I love the big block. I love the 4-speed. This car is just a pleasure to drive.